What is Amazon today?
I would define Amazon by our big ideas, which are customer centricity, putting the customer at the center of everything we do. Invention, we like to pioneer, we like to explore, we like to go down dark alleys and see what's on the other side. In the long run, if you take care of customers, that is taking care of shareholders. We do price elasticity studies, and every time the math tells us to raise prices.
Well, why don't you do it?
Because doing so would erode trust. And that erosion of trust would cost us much more in the long term. That long-term approach is rare enough that it means you're not competing against very many companies. Because most companies want to see a return on investment in, 1, 2, 3 years.
You don't care about that?
I care, but I'm willing for it to be 5, 6, 7 years. So just that change in timeline can be a very big competitive advantage. Internet is disrupting every media industry, Charlie. People can complain about that, but complaining is not a strategy. Amazon is not happening to book selling. The future is happening to book selling. Companies have short lifespans, Charlie, and Amazon will be disrupted one day.
And you worry about that?
I don't worry about it because I know it's inevitable. Companies come and go. And the companies that are the shiniest and most important of any era, you wait a few decades and they're gone.
And your job is to make sure that you delay that date.
I would love for it to be after I'm dead. Idea in mind. We want other companies to look at Amazon and see us as a standard bearer for obsessive focus on the customer, as opposed to obsessive focus on the competitor. So that's one of the reasons we work on differentiated products. It's one of the reasons we take a long-term viewpoint on things. You can't really do the right thing for customers if you're short-term oriented. And if you're going to invent new things, you've also got to be able, and this goes along with long-term orientation, you've got to be willing to endure a lot of criticism. That's part of what I'm talking about, the willingness to be misunderstood. If you're going to do things, we lay out what we're doing and we tell people how we think about things. It's selection, low prices, and fast, convenient, reliable delivery. But we're not going to make customers pay for any of our inefficiencies. And it's not just a business for us, it's a mission for us. And missionaries build better products. What I want is for people to feel like Amazon is the most reliable, that they have earned trust. Trust's hard-earned, easily lost. But we want to make hard promises, like if you're an Amazon Prime member, we'll get you this tomorrow or in 2 days, and we'll be very clear about it. You can pay $3.99 to get it tomorrow, or you can get it for free in 2 days. And that's a hard promise to make. And then we do a good job at keeping those promises, and that's how you earn trust. Make a hard promise, keep it. And if we can continue to earn, the balance of power is shifting away from companies and toward consumers. The individual is getting empowered, and what companies, the right way to respond to this if you're a company is say, okay, I'm going to put the vast majority of my energy, attention, and dollars into building a great product or service, and put a smaller amount into shouting about it, marketing it. Because I know if I build a great product or service, my customers will tell each other. You have to mix in some patience with that. You're going to have to take a long-term attitude. But if you do that, I think another way to say it is maybe we're moving into a world where the truth is more on the surface. And I think that's a very healthy and good thing. I said we've made a lot of mistakes. We've learned some things. And I want to tell you everything I know. I can guarantee you everything I know, it's a very short list. This won't take long. And it's complete too. All right, well, the first thing I know is that you need to obsess over customers. I can tell you that we have been doing this from the very beginning, and it's the only reason that Amazon.com exists today in any form. We've always put customers first. When given the choice of obsessing over competitors or obsessing over customers, we always obsess over customers. We pay attention to what our competitors do, but it's not where we put our energy. It's not where we get our motivation from. We really like to start with customers and work backwards. And again, that is the key thing that I know, and it covers a lot of other mistakes. If you're truly obsessed over customers, it'll cover a lot of errors. The second thing I know is invent. It's really important to invent. Anytime we have a problem, we never accept either or thinking. We try to figure out a solution that gets both things. And that often requires invention, but you can invent your way out of any box if you believe that you can. And what we talk about is inventing on behalf of customers. It's not a customer's job to invent for themselves. You need to listen to customers. It's critical. If you don't listen to customers, you will go astray. But they won't tell you everything, and so you need to invent on their behalf. And that focus on invention has served us well. Some of the recent things, even Kindle, not just Kindle, but EC2, the Elastic Compute Cloud. These are things that we would have never gotten to if we didn't have an inventive culture. But also, those are kind of large grain things, but there are small things too. And then, think long term. This is really critical. Any company that wants to focus on customers and put customers first, any company that wants to invent on behalf of customers has to be willing to think long term. And it's actually much rarer than you might think. I find that most of the initiatives we undertake may take 5 to 7 years before they pay any dividends for the company. They may start paying dividends for customers right away, but they often take a long time to pan out for shareholders in the company. So that ability to think in sort of 5 years and 7-year time frames really is very, very useful for us, and it's definitely one of the things that I know. It requires, by the way, and allows a willingness to be misunderstood. If you think long term, many of the inventions that we undertake, maybe if they're disruptive in any way, they may not be understood in the early innings, and it's always been very important for us to think long term so that we can tolerate being misunderstood. We've been called Amazon.toast, Amazon.con, many different things, many of them not appropriate for a video. And if we think we're right, then we continue. If we think we're wrong, if we're criticized about something we think we're wrong, we change it, we fix it. So it's important to really think about those things, but never to buckle to sort of standard kinds of pressures that come on that really force short-term thinking. And it's a huge competitive advantage to be able to think long-term, and you get to serve customers much better. All right, that's all that I know, really.